Welcome everybody to Bedbug Central TV. I'm your host, Jeff White, and in this episode we're going to discuss the differences between bombing and fumigation. Those are two terms that are commonly mixed up, and not just by the everyday public, but also sometimes by pest control technicians that don't understand what the difference is between those two techniques. Again, bombing and fumigation. And the first one we'll talk about real quick is bombing. And what that means is that somebody is going to come into your home, and a lot of times you can buy bombs over the counter, and bombs are kind of a rough term that I'm not really comfortable with. What it is, it usually comes in a pressurized aerosol type can where you pop the seal on it and releases pesticide into the air. And what that does is that pesticide spreads throughout the open space in the room and will probably kill any insect that's in the open space of that room. So say you had a bunch of insects that flew in an open window at night and are sitting on the wall, you released a bomb in your room, that would fill the air and possibly kill those insects that are just sitting on the wall. Now if you stop for a second and think about what you know about bed bugs, you'll quickly realize what's wrong with this technique. Now I'm not saying that bed bugs can't be just walking on the wall or say walking on a wall ceiling junction. They can be, and this bombing technique would actually probably kill those insects that are just walking around on the wall. But remember, bed bugs don't typically just walk around on a wall, and if you are seeing them walking around on walls, something's probably wrong with the population. It's either gotten too big and it's just starting to move into other atmospheres, or something else is going on. So in actuality, bed bugs are hiding in cracks and crevices, and this bombing technique does not actually get the pesticide to those cracks and crevices. So, in effect, bombing is really going to do very little, if anything, to your bedbug population. And it is something that we strongly recommend that people do not do if you think you have a bedbug infestation, because that can actually just make the problem worse. So bombing is not a technique that you want to go with when you're dealing with bedbugs. Fumigation, on the other hand, is drastically different, although they're commonly confused. Now what fumigation is a technique that has to be done by a trained professional. The chemicals, now all chemicals can be toxic, all pesticides can be toxic to humans. But fumigants, the chemicals that they use to fumigate a building, can be lethal very easily. And it can only be done by a trained professional. And what that does is that they come in, basically, they prepare your house, and you have to actually be outside of the house for 24 to 48 hours, and sometimes even longer. You cannot be in the house. And they basically release this gas into the home. They use fans to circulate the gas throughout the house. And what this gas is the particulates of the gas are so fine, they're so small, that they can actually get through and permeate into solid wood. So it's not like the bomb we talked about before, which just fills up the open space. This fumigant goes for the areas of least resistance, and what that means is it's going to slowly go from the open space into all the cracks and crevices, and then it may even work its way through solid wood and other solid particles. So obviously, you know, like a shirt, which something might have trouble permeating, fumigants will go right through that, no problem. And that's really the difference between bombing and fumigation. Bombing is a space treatment. You're treating the open air in a room, while fumigation is going to treat every open space throughout the entire home, cracks, crevices, and even permeate into wood. Fumigations are very common in the southeastern and southern U.S., where there's a termite species that actually gets in the walls of the home and lives in the walls, because that fumigant can penetrate the wood and kill the termites. Well, the fumigant can also get in cracks and crevices and kill bed bugs and their eggs. So again, bombing is a space treatment. Fumigant actually treats the entire structure and everything within. Alrighty, so that's the difference between bombing and fumigation. I hope that clears it up for some people, because we get a lot of questions about, you know, what's a bomb? My technician wants to let off a bomb in my home. Is it going to help? Isn't it? And in the actuality for bedbugs, bombing really does not address a whole lot of concern. So again, jeff.white@bedbugcentral.com. Please email me your questions and topics you'd like to hear talked about, and we will hopefully hear from everybody as soon as possible. I will see everybody soon enough.